everyone. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you celebrated Mom as she deserves. I hope you hugged her, kissed her, you told her how much you loved her. I hope she enjoyed the card that we did for her. I really want to know your comments, so if you want to text me and tell me how it went, it would be awesome. Okay? Now for today, we're going to retake a little bit what we were taking our last couple of classes that were analogous colors. Remember? We were talking about our next door neighbor colors are analogous, right? So green and blue are analogous colors, blue and violet are analogous colors, violet and red are analogous colors, red and orange are analogous colors, and yellow and orange are analogous colors, so as green and yellow. So I want you to know really well the difference in between analogous and complementary colors, right? So complementary are the ones that are crossing each other on the color wheel, and analogous colors are next door neighbors. So I want that concept to be really inside your head, and that you know it for, like, if I ask you which ones are analogous, you can just give me an example, pop an example out of it. Or which ones are complementary colors, that you know exactly what they are. So we're gonna keep on practicing a little bit, but we're gonna do for today is a painting. We're gonna start painting something. We're gonna start knowing exactly what are analogous colors and how we can work them on, okay? So for our project, I really need you to have your color wheel with you, okay? If you don't have it, I'm just gonna post in also a picture of this color wheel so you can have it next to you, okay? So we're gonna need our color wheel. We're gonna also need a white cardboard paper. We're gonna need orange, yellow, and red markers. We're gonna need blue, green, and violet also. We're gonna need a pencil, a black marker, an eraser so we can erase our pencil marks, and that would be basically what we're gonna need. For today's project, this is what we're gonna be doing. Okay, so you can see over here that we're working with all analogous colors, right? Blue and violet are analogous, blue and green are analogous, green and blue again are analogous, blue and violet are analogous, and blue and green are analogous. Over here too, we have yellow that's analogous with orange, and orange is analogous with red, right? And red is analogous with violet over here. So you can see over here we have all analogous colors that are matching each other on our painting. So let's begin with our drawing. How about that? First of all, we're going to start doing a little hill with our pencil. Don't push too much on your pencil. Don't put too much pressure on it. So your pencil marks are going to be really light, okay? So we're going to start with this hill over here, and we're just going to start drawing. We have our first hill over here. Then we're going to mark another one down over here. That would be our blue. Then we have this straight line over here that's green, so we're just going to do that. Then we have another blue one right over here. We have our violet hill that's a little bit up. You can see over here there's a high heel, so we're going to draw a little bit of a high heel over here, hill, and we have a green hill over here that we're also going to work down. Okay, so we have already our hills. Now in our blue hill, after all our green comes our blue. Over here we're gonna draw a tree. Just mark it a little bit. Once we have our markers, we're gonna fix up the details, okay? Just have a little fast sketch on how you have to draw your tree. Let me just zoom this in a little bit so you can see what we're doing. So I have my tree over here, like that. Then in our green hill over here, and this one over here, we have a little tree. So we have to draw over here, you can see. It's smaller than this one. This one is a big tree and this is a small tree. So we're gonna draw a small tree on this hill over here. Just little details. There we go. Now we have on this side over here, we have our sun. So we have a first circle and then we round it around. So we have to draw a little circle, right? and then we just go around like this. Let's make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see over here I'm done with this level over here, right? But I can continue on this side. So 10, I'm gonna start like 11, I just follow the line. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 lines, okay? So we already have our drawing. Now we're gonna work first with our analogous colors that are over here. We have yellow, orange, and red. So we're gonna use those 3 colors with my markers. I'm gonna begin with my yellow. I'm gonna color this part over here yellow. And I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles that are gonna be yellow. I can do even 6, let's do 6, okay? So I already finished my 6 yellow circles. Now my next color next to my yellow is gonna be orange. So let's go by with the orange other 5 circles, okay? So we're now coming to orange, and we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange. I'm already done with my orange, and our next analogous color is gonna be red. So I'm just gonna continue all my circles over here until I'm done with red. So now I'm done tracing my sun. I already have my yellow, I have my orange, and I have my red, as they would be analogous colors here, yellow, orange, and red. Now I'm gonna continue with my other analogous colors that are violet, blue, and green. So what I'm gonna do, as I see my painting over here, I'm gonna start with my violet over here, violet or purple. So I'm just gonna grab my marker, and you can see over here in my drawing, I did a lot of spacing in between my my circles. There's a lot of space. There's almost a finger in between every circle, right? Comparing to this one down here, you can see this big spacing, and you can see over here that there's no spacing. There's really narrow spacing here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start tracing my violet, and I'm gonna start with my lining here that has really little spacing in between. So once I'm done with my violet, next step in my color wheel, I have violet, and my next analogous color is going to be blue. So as you can see over here, my violet, and now I'm doing my blue. So I'm going to use this pattern over here so I can work this hill. So I'm going to grab my blue marker, and I'm going to start working on this one over here. Now I'm done with my violet and my blue. In my color wheel, I have my next analogous colors that would be green. So I'm just gonna grab my green marker, and I'm gonna start doing my pattern with green all the way over here. So I'm done with my violet, with my blue, and my green. As you can see over here, violet, blue, and green, analogous colors. Next door neighbor colors in our color wheel. Now, we're gonna use another analogous color, would be blue again over here. So I'm just gonna grab my blue marker and I'm gonna start patterning this part over here. But there's something that I wanna show you. Let's say I have an object over here. I have a tree. So just let me zoom this in a little bit so I can show you. Okay, so I have a tree over here, and that is gonna be something that I'm gonna have to work on my pattern. You can see I broke my line over here, my blue line, left a spacing, and then I continued with my lining, right? So that's what I'm gonna actually have to do in all this pattern over here. So I'm gonna respect that part of the tree right there. I cut my line over here and I continue like that. Okay, so now we're gonna start lining our pattern over here, make a little cut on the tree, and then continue. Why am I doing that? You can see in our sun, I didn't do that because it's really, over here, it's really thin. Our lines are gonna be really thin, and it's not gonna bother our tree as much. But over here we have a thick spacing over here for our tree. Okay, so on this part, let's continue doing this and spacing this tree so we can color this afterwards and we won't have dark colors lining up in our tree, okay? So let's cut this up and let's finish up our pattern. Okay, so we're almost done with our colors over here. Now the next color that we're gonna use is, after our blue, is our violet again. So I'm gonna start with my other hill over here with our violet. So over here I don't have any other intersection or other object that's gonna cut my lining. So you can just do your regular pattern over here with your violet, and let's continue with our project. So we're almost done with our project. We already have our analogous colors over here, and there's a last color that we have to do, that is our green. That's next to our blue in our color wheel over here. Blue and green are analogous, so blue and green, we're gonna mix them together over here. We have our tree over here, so we're gonna leave that spacing. Remember how I told you guys that we are gonna just go around space and we continue. But we have two objects, space again over here, and we continue. Okay, so once we're done with this over here, we're just gonna grab our black marker and we're gonna start going over our pencil mark over here and coloring our tree. We're gonna just trace our pencil marks like this. Like that. And we're just gonna put together our tree like this. So we're gonna color our tree, the thick part of our tree over here. Just like this. This is our big tree. There we go. We have our first tree over here, and we have another tree over here that is smaller. You can see, right? The first one that we started coloring is bigger than this one over here. Now I want to ask you guys, what impression do you have of this smaller tree over here? Do you think the smaller tree looks far away, or do you think it looks closer? So you can see over here our trees are, one is bigger and the other one is smaller. The smaller tree looks as it would be further in our picture drawing, right? And the big one looks like if you would be really closer. So you can see in my hands, for example, you can see this hand over here, my fingers, and you can see my fingers at the end, right? Which one looks bigger, the ones that are over here or the ones that are over here? These fingers look bigger, right? Because they're closer to your eye, to your vision. And this one over here looks smaller because it's further. So when we're drawing, there's a word that we're going to use now that's called perspective, okay? So when you want an object to be closer, you have to draw your drawing bigger. When you want it to look far away, you have to draw it smaller. That way you can see that it's something that's going further away or it's really close to you, okay? So have that word also in mind, that is perspective. As closer that you want it, you have to draw it bigger. The further you want the object, you have to draw it smaller, okay? So we have this over here, and I'm gonna keep on drawing some leaves so my tree can look a little bit cuter. So basically, you can keep on drawing your trees. I'm just going to show you really quickly on this one that's already done. I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit. You can see over here in my perspective, the bigger tree has more detail on it, all right? You can see all the leaves and everything. And you see over here on the smaller tree, my details are not as defined. They're like really fast drawn, because when you're looking at something far away, you don't really see details. Comparing to the one that you see closer, right? So I want you to have that in mind also when you're drawing, that bigger stuff that are close to you have more detail on their drawings, paintings, and the ones that are further are like not that much. You can't really see too much detail on it. Now there's another thing that I want to show you guys that's a little bit of introduction. You can see over here that we use little spacing. That's another word that we're learning. Spacing is space in between every line or every object that you're going to draw. Okay, so spacing, we can see the spacing over here that is really narrow. It's really small, right? There's not too much space in between one another. And on the other one over here, in our other analogous colors over here, we have like a finger difference. There's a lot of difference in spacing, right? Why did I do this? Because even though we have analogous colors that we've been working on our color wheel, we have our analogous colors over here, we are dividing, we're going to divide our analogous colors over here. I'm just going to draw a little line over here so you can see. Okay, so this separate line over here, it's going to divide our color wheel and our analogous colors. So on this side, on my right side, I have yellow, orange, and red. We're going to divide this analogous colors on this side, and on my left hand, I have green, blue, and violet. Okay, so when I'm using yellow, orange, and red, that they're analogous colors in between them, they are also called warm colors. Okay, warm colors, hot colors, because they reflect warmth. It reflects heat, like the sun, like fire, like a light bulb. So it has a lot of interpretations on when you see these colors. You're gonna feel that it's warmth, it's happiness. Okay, on the other side we have our cool colors, okay, that represent us. It can be cold colors, like really cold impression, or peace, or I don't know, like relaxed colors. So you divide your color wheel in two. So that's why I used over here the difference. Here are our warm colors, yellow, orange, and red, that are they're showing us the sun that brings warmth into the land. That usually land is relaxing, it's kind of cold. So we're mixing up not only analogous colors in our painting, but we're also starting to develop a new concept that is warm colors and cool colors that we're going to be working on next classes, so you can have a better idea of it. But you can start working on what warm colors are, like this, like are related to the sun, warmth and heat, and the cool colors are related to relax, to serenity, to cold, and to other different areas of relaxation. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed our project. I want to see this in our platform. Please work really detailed objects over here. I want your spacing over here to be narrow, and in the sun that you're working on, I want it to be like at least a finger of difference in spacing. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed our project. Have lots of fun doing it. Have a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to see your work on platform. Until next class, bye bye for now.